What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Outdoor Agent Podcast. My name is Jake Logan, and I'm obsessed with outdoors, hunting, and giving my family a life to be proud of. I'm a 10-year Army veteran, and I gave up jumping out of airplanes for a living to being a licensed realtor in the Fort Bragg, North Carolina area. Every job I've ever had, every path I've ever taken has always been blue collar, hands on, earn the hard way. We grew up in the outdoors. We grew up in the small towns, dirt in your boots, calluses on your hands, learning by doing the things and failing, not just talking about it. All right. So I come from a small town. I've lived all over the country from Illinois to New York to Alaska to North Carolina and, possibly another move again. Why not? We don't have anybody telling us what to do anymore. So this podcast really it's about land. It's about real estate. It's the outdoors, building a life that you actually can fit for your family and who you are, and not who you're told to be. So the other part of that is your business, and it is your mindset, and is your entrepreneurship, small business owners, all that good stuff. Anything you can think of, we're going to talk about on this podcast. There's no scripts. We're no gurus. There's no bullshit. All right. Because failure, it doesn't disqualify you from things. Comfort does. And this is what we're doing is we're talking about getting out of your comfort zone and getting into something real. And that's something you can be proud of, something you can build on, something you can be happy with your life. So today, I am super excited because all this I just talked about, it all started with this man right here that we brought in today. I have my buddy Jake Dixon on the show. And Jake and I, we come from the same small town, 600 people, right? At one point, it was the smallest official city in Illinois or something like that because of the certain qualifications. Anyways, we had the same coaches, we had the same teachers, we had the same gyms we worked out and sweat and bled in, and Jake, he's the founder and the CEO of the Locker Room Real Estate Coaching and Training. He's a co-founder of the Locker Room Leadership Coaching Academy, the founder of the Coaches Brokerage, and he's helped over 40,000 real estate agents. And he's worked with hundreds of brokerages, served as a CEO of a large real estate franchise. We won't name any names right now. And built one of the top productivity coaching programs in North America. And I have the pleasure to ask him for help a year and a half ago. And now here we are. So it's been super cool. He was drafted twice in Major League Baseball, which made me initially look up to him 20 years ago. It heavily shaped how he looks at failure, discipline, consistency. And we come from the same town. So like he was a giant in our high school, right? We all looked up to him as 12, 13-year-old kids. And I wasn't even from that same town at the time. But now, we thought, hey, this guy throws gas. Like he's the coolest dude ever. He's kind of nice to us, but he's also like, okay, I got shit to do today. But no, he always offered to help. He always offered to help. He'd show up to our practices and helped out. And not only baseball, because now I realize that we looked up to him because of his determination, his drive, the never quit mentality. And that's something we're going to really hit on today is just like knowing where you came from, taking what it's taught you, and knowing that like just because something failed or something didn't go as we planned, like we build on that. All right. So at 14 years old, I didn't know any of that. But now it makes you think a little bit further into things. So without further ado, I'm going to shut up for a little bit. Jake, I appreciate you coming on here, big dog. It's awesome to talk to you again. It's awesome to have you. And yeah, let's see what we can talk about today. Piss some people off if we can. It's always fun. People, if you get offended easily, this probably isn't the one for you because me and Jake, we don't really cater to people's little soft feelings sometimes. We need to hear.
What do they say, right? If everybody likes you, or if you want everybody to like you, go sell ice cream or something like that. So if we don't piss somebody off, then we didn't do our part today. Half
Absolutely.
kidding, of course. But man, I've done a lot of speaking, a lot of podcasts, and that's probably one of the best, if not maybe on a personal note, the best intro I've ever gotten. So thank you.
Oh, man, it's true though. Like,
Well,
literally, you see all that stuff that as a kid, and you were 8 years, 9 years older than me, maybe not even that. Like you're like, this dude, he's gonna be a legend, but
yeah.
now it's like you're not just doing that and back doing nothing with your life. You did all that and move forward, which is great.
Well, I think the same, of course, can be said for you too. I mean, the whole premise of us sitting here today is taking the roots and not letting excuses and circumstances dictate the trajectory of our life. And same goes to you, man. What you've accomplished and who you've inspired, myself included, along the way, the service you've given to our country, which we're all thankful for, is nothing short of incredible. So I saw some cool stadiums. You've seen some cool stadiums, but I have not jumped out of airplanes, nor did I take the leap to defend our country. But I'm defending people in a different way and helping them rise up to their potential. And I think we're just both doing God's work and trusting the journey, trusting the process along the way. Never a victim of our circumstances and environments, but we're going to make our lives and those we're meant to inspire and impact whatever it's meant to be, because we're people of decision and we have a lot of conviction, a lot of heart behind what we do. And that's one of the great things I appreciate about you is the passion. And you can never question your heart and why you're doing what you're doing, where that's coming from.
I mean,
So
other people look at it and think I'm a good dude. Then, then you get to know me and you're like, he's all right, but he's kind of a dick sometimes, but hey, that's ain't we all. So, um,
whatever.
yeah, but no, man, other than what I've kind of hit on, like let's kind of dive into the personal side of things, like where we came from and how that shaped us and the work that we put in, the people that we knew that
Yep.
made us put in this kind of work, and the mutual people that we know, the coaches and all that stuff, and how that not only because I know when you were playing baseball, you never in a million years you sat there and you're like, I'm gonna go be in North Carolina and I'm gonna be a CEO of a brokerage for real estate, and
No,
then I'm not gonna do that anymore, and then
no.
go back into coaching, but not baseball.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely one of those moments that you just, as I just mentioned, you kind of reflect back at times and say, how did I get here? Good, bad, or indifferent. Just how did I get here? And again, we're just a product of all these little mini decisions along the way that led us to who we are and where we are today, physically or career choices, family choices, and so forth. So I think to bring it back to the roots, I mean, you kind of painted the picture where we're both small town guys and grew up in an environment that if you wanted something, you had to work your ever loving ass off to get it. Nobody was going to come save you. Nobody was going to do it for you in
You're not gonna have
sports, which,
100 scouts at your game in the field
right.
in the 100,000 people city or whatever it is.
Dude, my family, we were this close to moving what was going into my freshman year of high school. Because I don't know that you know this, Jake. Baseball was not a school sport.
Mm-mm.
We did not have a baseball field. What is now the Rova baseball field was a cornfield. And my dad and I, and just volunteers in the community going into my freshman year of high school, built that with our hands.
I didn't know that actually.
Be-
I knew it
Yep.
was a cornfield. I didn't know it was y'all's time frame.
Yes. Because the school board finally voted to have baseball and softball as a school sport. But had that not been the case, we were
Wow.
this close to moving to, I think it would have been Bloomington Normal. Um, so I could play baseball. I knew at a young age that that's what I wanted to do.
Man,
And
that's
think
where would you have played then? Like, they didn't have high school baseball at all. Did
no,
people that were interested, did they go to another town?
I guess. I mean,
That's
Weathersfield
crazy.
or all the other towns around, there's plenty of options. But for whatever reason,
Wow.
Rova did not have a high school baseball team.
That is crazy. And Rova, for anybody that doesn't understand how small this actual school was, right? Rova is actually the first letter of 5 towns in the area, like Rio, Oneida, Watauga, Victoria, and Altona. And the W wasn't there when my family was growing up. My mom was growing up. She went to Galesburg. She lived in Watauga, right? So it took 5 towns combined. I graduated with a total of 38 kids. Like, that's how small we're talking here.
Right. And that's the point is like, whether it's baseball or academics or anything that somebody in a small town, and we're not, special. There's a zillion people hopefully listening to this that are from the small town area. But the point is, you've got to work not just hard, but extra hard, in my opinion, because most people, God love them, in our area grew up farming and doing things like that, where we
Farming and
just,
railroad.
yeah, farming and railroad, maybe Maytag back in the day. And that's okay. That's amazing for them. But for the dreamers, for the entrepreneurs, for the visionaries, and guys like you and I that didn't want to necessarily pursue that path, and coupled with the fact that we had the gift of athleticism to boot, it was especially hard to get seen, to get noticed. And yet what's funny about it is scouts, college and or pro scouts, they will always find you. It's one of the greatest
Mhm.
lessons. If you're talented, if you're skilled at whatever it is you are, and you're visibly passionate on the field, whether the playing field is sports or the playing field is the office that you work in, people will recognize talent and they will find you. Right. And that was the case for me. You know, some of my backstory, and I want you to share yours as well. But a couple of famous quotes. My mom and dad never let this one down. Now, please understand, the person I'm referring to was not the same coach at the time that Jake had in high school. So, anyways, but this certain individual, my freshman year of high school, told myself and my parents one day, or no, that was actually a quote in a newspaper clipping I have. The
I didn't
problem
realize it
with
was in the newspaper too.
Yeah, it was something to the effect of, the problem with Jake Dixon as a freshman is that he doesn't have enough varsity playing experience. Well, no
No
shit,
shit.
Sherlock.
No shit.
Like, wait a minute. And so that, and then the story that you're familiar with, Jake, it was my sophomore year that it was the second inning of a playoff game. We were playing Sherrard, and a Midwest thunderstorm blew through. There was lightning, cats and dog, the whole thing. And so the umpires ended up calling the game, and we had to postpone it to finish up the next day.
Mhm.
Well, in the midst of all of this, coach was yelling at us players to get the equipment up and run inside the gymnasium there at Rova. And apparently we were just probably goofing around like kids do,
Yeah,
and not getting the equipment picked up fast enough. So
of
long
course.
story short, by the time we got into the gym, he was just fuming, mad at this point. And I don't know what triggered him or set him off necessarily, but at one point during his rant, he comes up to me, puts his finger right in my face, because he knew my aspirations to want to play ball at a higher level.
Yep.
And in front of all my teammates, he said, "None of you will ever see the inside of a college or professional stadium unless you buy a ticket." Verbatim, those were his words. And now, looking back, I didn't know, as a 16-year-old punk kid at the time, that that's what you would call a defining moment. I could
Yeah.
either say, "You know what, coach, you're probably right. After all, we live in the sticks in the middle of a cornfield."
And
No, but
how
even
many
if I
people have heard something like that and let that happen, you know?
Exactly, exactly. And so I could go down that road and believe him and let somebody that gave up on his own dreams try to talk me out of mine. But I was like, "No, no, no, I got too much pride, too much ego for that." So I chose option B, which is to say, "All right, MFer, let me show you." And I could go bust doing this. Those of you can't tell, I'm 6'6". I'm not small. And I was really good at basketball.
Me and Jake are on
Yep.
very opposite spectrums in the height department.
Right. So I'm not advocating this for every decision. It was personal to me that I stopped playing every sport except baseball to go all in on baseball and show myself first, him second, what I can and can't do, and let the chips fall where they may. And as you said, I got drafted out of high school in the 18th round by the A's. That was the year of Moneyball, if you've seen that movie.
As a position
And
player, correct?
say again?
As a position player.
Yeah,
That's
as
one
a
of my favorite stories too, is because you fucking did it, right? You
as a
fucking did it
hitter.
in a very respectable position of the draft too. It's not like one of these things where like, hey, daddy knows the scout and I got the last pick of the last round. Not knocking anybody that's
Right.
got to that point, but like
Yeah.
there's a lot of that in the draft, right?
Yeah.
And especially these days.
Right.
This
No.
guy at a town at your high school graduating class, 30, 40 kids, maybe 50,
50,
if that
50 was in mine. Yep.
50, right? And got drafted in mid rounds as a position player
Yep.
in a town that when I tell people where we're from, it's, Peoria, Quad Cities. Yeah, we're in the middle.
Okay.
And like very rarely does anybody know it. I've met actually my electrician here that I use is from Galesburg.
Oh,
Wild, right?
yeah.
Didn't know it. But anyways, like that's how small it is. And this guy comes out here and not only does he make this man eat his words that nobody's ever going to see this, he's like, that's not good enough for me. I didn't want to be a position player. I wanted to be a pitcher. And so then what did we do then?
Yeah, and that's a funny piece of the story because I'll kind of link in some things here. Number one, you're right. I got drafted. My mindset all along. I grew up from Stubby, who was my coach. Loved Stubby. Um, I was a pitcher. My mindset was a pitcher. I was a good hitter,
I
but Jake
wasn't.
Dixon was a pitcher. And here I go getting drafted by the A's as a hitter. Like,
How,
what's up with that?
dude,
And
I'm not gonna lie. My instant gratification, I wouldn't be able to turn that down. I'd be like, fuck it, I'm going.
well, yeah, I mean, that's a whole different story. Yeah. But like, in hindsight, coulda, woulda, shoulda, right? But the scouts said, Jake, you'll be a fine college pitcher. We're not taking anything away from that, but your future in pro ball, I quote, would be as a hitter. And I couldn't take that in, dude. Like that wasn't my identity, I guess. So I turned that away and went to college and whatever. Um, but back to it. Here's the thing, single greatest thing I'm most proud of during that whole episode of stuff. It wasn't in hindsight to say, nah, boo boo coach. I did it anyways and saw a lot of cool stadiums. Thanks for I mean, yeah, that's the chip on the shoulder.
I said the chips fell and they fell on our shoulders.
Yeah, for sure. But one of the things that came from that is I still have it in my little scrapbook. The scouting report, you can, I think, still look it up, from the MLB draft scouting report 2001. Whoever wrote it, I don't know, powers that be, just a little description about me, like strong, quick hands and wrists, good bat, blah, blah, blah. But the last thing it said was loves to play.
Yeah,
You never see that in a scouting report. It's always
no,
fastball and speed and all these rankings and different verbiage. You know what I'm talking about.
yep,
But in mine, I've never seen another one that said loves to play. So to me, what they saw in little old BFE Oneida, Illinois, was a kid who just was playing a kid's game, having fun
yeah,
with it, letting it all shine on the field, that
100% balls
somebody
to the
else, like a
wall all the
scout,
time.
yeah, who sees hundreds and thousands of kids play, would take note that that dude loves to play. That
That's
just
like the
always
best.
stuck with
That's
me.
the best compliment, and in my opinion, that's the best thing. And that was the other thing too. Is when I was getting out of college, I was looking into being a scout because that was always what I was good at. As a pitcher in college, you have nothing but time to
Right,
watch other players, and you can pick up on things. I used to call pitches my senior year because my coach was worried about everything else going on. I was like, Coach, I'm telling you, this guy's got a hole in his swing right here. And
right,
every time we would get him on that, and he goes, "You're just going to call pitches from here on out if you're not
yeah,
pitching." And so looking at it as a scout, like you'd see these guys that are just pure raw talent, like way better than probably, half the people that are in there in their draft class or in their team or whatever. But it's the guys, and Jim told me, and this is a Floyd Baum story that I love hearing all the time. That's another mutual friend now, father figure, if you want to put it,
yep,
between me and Jake.
yep.
He was our coach. Well, I don't think you coached with Floyd.
I coached with him but
Yeah.
Floyd and my dad and Lisa, of course,
Yeah.
we've always been friends, and Floyd is a definite icon, father figure of
Man.
sorts, even whether he technically coached me or not. And I know he did you, but anybody in that community, Floyd has definitely had a leadership level impact over.
Yeah, and the best stories he would tell is he used to coach against Jim Tomey up in the Peoria area, Limestone and Morton and all that. And he, to this day, his brother, and I think he had two brothers in the same like team, or one brother in the same team in summer leagues, because his brother was better, better, way more talented. He's a better hitter, better everything. And he goes, but Jim, he wanted it. He
Mm,
wanted it, and you could tell. And that's that's the biggest thing with
yeah,
life, with business, with anything you talk about, sports.
yeah,
Whoever fucking wants it,
yeah,
that's who you're gonna be talking to or talking about in 10, 15 years.
yeah. Well, I know this is your show. I'm going to ask you back though, man. Like, how do you think the small town upbringing shaped your mindset? Because those listening, I had a chance to work with Jake, with some baseball lessons, not to mention just be a fan in the stands, cheering him on, going to some games. And one of the things I always observed about him, and we didn't have the relationship then that we have now, but I saw this younger left-handed version of me, dang it. Um,
Miniature.
yeah, but man, you had a bulldog grit, I'm coming at you mentality on the mound. and that translates to life. I'm being a little metaphorical, but also literal.
Yeah.
So where did that come from? Did you always have it? Was it shaped by your upbringing here? That bulldog, I'm coming after it. I'm gonna get what I want.
Well, depends on who you ask, because eventually, once I learned how to control my temper and my anger, in college, like, took me 5 years of college. Yeah, 5 years. I was a super senior. Um, it took me 5 years in college to realize, like, I can channel that into something that is productive rather than destructive.
Mhm.
And growing up, I've been ejected out of basketball games. I've been ejected out of baseball games. I've had other schools waiting outside the locker room to beat my ass after a basketball game, right?
Yeah.
And I'm 5'6", 130 pounds at the time, soaking wet, and I I didn't get pushed around. I never let anybody push me around. And whether it was anger, temper, contribute both of those to my mother and my father. Not necessarily a bad thing,
Right. Right.
but in a small town like that, and you got these big old corn-fed boys, like, you're gonna get eaten up, and everybody knows you from fresh. Honestly, I can think of a dozen players that I played with since I was 10, or played against since I was 10 years old, and if you let them push you around, they're gonna remember that for 8 years, 9 years, all the way growing up. So I made it a point. That was never gonna happen, and I'm talking, when I made it a point, I was like 10 years old, 12 years old, is I'm not gonna let people push me around. I'm gonna come right at them. I know I'm better than them. I may not have the same speed, I may not have the same strength, but I know I'm better than them and smarter. And
Mhm.
I in certain things in baseball, like, yeah, you're better than them 20% of the time and you're successful. So I'm not saying I'm better than them as a person or as an athlete, because God knows I wasn't, but I was gonna be better than them when I played them.
Mhm.
And that was my mentality with everybody. And it's it's to the point where if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna be the best, or try to be the best. And if I'm gonna do something, what's the point of going in half-assed? What's the point of giving it just a little bit and, like, not your full effort? Like, I legitimately, still to this day, I cannot feel these three fingers because
Mhm.
of, and you're familiar with this, a partially torn UCL that never actually snapped. But I have no feeling in these three fingers for anything, because I finished my baseball career in 3 days. I threw almost 300 pitches, and it was because we didn't have somebody, or it was against number one team in the conference. I beat them once. The next day, college team, they got in trouble. Coach made it a point, like, it's elimination game. He made it a point. We're not playing you guys. You guys got in trouble. And, like, yeah, it sucked. That's a hard pill to swallow, but it taught me, taught them, and taught that coach what kind of people we are, right? Like, we're not going to just let things slide because whatever. Anyways, ended up playing that same team again, and I threw 120 pitches the day before, or 140 pitches the day before, because I told him, like, I told you when I came here, there's gonna be a time where you just gotta let me do it. You're gonna
Mhm.
try to take me out, whatever. Like, let me do it. Like, this is the last game I'm ever gonna play in. I knew it. He's like, "Can you give me a couple innings?" I was like, "I'll give you all of them." And I was throwing 10-mile-an-hour slower. I had no strategy. It was throwing random pitches because that was the only thing that was gonna work. And we lost 2-1 in the conference championship game in order to go to the national tournament against an All-American hitter on a ball that I bounced in the dirt, and he hit it up the middle, and they scored 2-1. And that's just what from that point on, I just realized, like, that's the same kind of attitude I need in life and everything.
Yeah.
And it sounds dumb, and people, like, I've my baseball careers have ended in high school and college with me pitching and me making a mistake.
Mhm.
You don't think I remember that every day?
And that
And just I use that for everything else.
that's baseball though, man. That's why it's such a beautiful sport, and
It'll
softball,
break
by
your
the way.
heart. It'll break your heart every
Yeah,
day.
but it is you're throwing the failure word, so it's a game of failure. I'm rocking the air quotes when I say that
Yep.
because as we often refer, the Hall of Fame, the best that's ever played, people making millions upon millions of dollars succeed what 3 out of 10 times, right?
That's a Hall
And
of Fame, right? That's a Hall of Fame,
it's a Hall of Fame career,
resume. Yeah.
right? And you think about it, like baseball, and I have a ball near me somewhere. Baseball is the only sport that I can think of that there you go. that the defense is actually the one who's in control of the ball. There's no other sport, any other sport, the offense is in control of the ball.
And
Base
everybody else reacts.
Right. Basketball, football, soccer, you name it. If you have the ball, you're considered on offense. Not baseball. That's why it's so great. So many lessons that you and I have now taken from our time. We don't mean to be these old, washed up fuddy duds talking about the glory days
But
here.
we are.
Yeah, but we are. Who cares? You can log off. No. But I think the overarching lesson, at least for me, is we're sharing these things because it's the DNA of who we are. It's you can take the sport away, but you cannot take away that grit,
Mhm.
that dog, that fight in you that this game has instilled in us that now we apply to our careers. Right? So I just think it's so fascinating that it's this little symbolism, baseball or replace with a softball, ladies, is so much more than just a game. It's a lesson of life. And if you whether you're playing now and you're fortunate to do that, or you're washed up like me and Jake Squared is over here, um, take those lessons, reflect on those lessons if you haven't, and say, what am I? Who has that helped me become? How has it shaped me? What lessons can I now apply to my career, to my children, to you name it, to leave the world a better place because of the sports and challenges and failures along the way, because of a game, all because of a game.
No, I mean, we should just mic drop it right there. I mean, that's the biggest thing that I've always taken from it, and I'll fight it. I'll fight it tooth and nail. I remember growing up, man, like you had track and soccer and all the other sports, and it was
Yeah,
always like, oh, not knocking these guys because they're athletic, but in wrestling, that was another one in college that we'd always get into it with.
yeah,
They're like, oh yeah, how hard is it to hit a baseball and sprint 90, 90 feet? And it's like, y- your job is to run in circles, or your job is
yeah,
to throw around other dudes. Again, I know that those are extremely athletic people and talented
yeah,
people. In my mind, I was like, I'm gonna fight you right now for saying that. And I don't care if I'm wrong or not. I'm gonna
yeah,
go in at it. And I know that it's not true. But with baseball, like it's such a mental fuck
yeah,
all the time. Like it's just always there. And you never think about, hey, I made a really great pitch here. I've had a really good game. You think about the ones that you failed on. It's like, what did I do wrong? How do I fix this? How do I make it better? And if you don't have a life surrounded by something like that for 25 years and you don't take that into the next stage of your life, you are missing out on something that it could change your whole like outlook, your whole projection of where your life is going. We're getting super
yeah,
deep and like, methodical about this, but like that's how I think. That's how I think about things. It's like, yeah, that went well. How could it get better?
yeah,
It's like never settling for, just good enough. And it was the same way in the army for me. I was never the you can ask all my old NCOs, all my old bosses. I was never the best at anything what I did. I mean, I essentially restarted my career um, when I went to Alaska because when I just went active duty, I was working in an office doing strategic targeting. I signed up to blow shit up, right, and be out there and do stuff. And I get over to Alaska and I got a private. I'm a sergeant at this point. I got a private teaching me how to do my job again. But, what they didn't know is I know what the upper echelons at division level are doing and stuff like that.
mhm,
So I sat in the back. I didn't want to embarrass myself by speaking up. I sat in the back. I learned for like 3 months what I was doing. And by the time I ended up taking over a team or whatever it was, my team was the best, always the best. And it's
mhm,
not because of me. It was because of what I made them do every day. And
right,
it was getting back to the roots. Hey, oh, this is just sorry, this is just a job. Like, yeah, but no, motherfucker, it's not. Like,
mhm,
somebody could die. Our job, mass amounts of people could die, including your own. And if you're not the best, like, I don't want you on my team. I've kicked people off my team. You can't do that in the army, but I did it. I told them, get off my team, go somewhere else. Like, that's not allowed. When you
yeah,
go up to a captain and tell him, sir, I don't want this guy on my team, and just walk off.
yeah.
That's not allowed, but I did it. And I demanded the best every time.
Here's an underlying lesson if anybody's listening to this, is just hitting me in real time. I think there's an underlying lesson or principle coming together. It's about standards.
Yeah.
Standards that you hold yourself accountable to, standards that you hold those around you accountable to. That's what I'm hearing from here, and we can link back to the
Oh
baseball
yeah.
stuff. I just wrote down, I remember on the sleeve when I was playing in minor leagues for the Angels, right on one of our practice sleeves was every pitch, every at bat, every inning, every game, it all counts. And that was right there on the sleeve. And that's what I'm hearing you say. Like, there is no do-overs, especially in the military. My goodness, it's life and death, man. We got to play at game speed always, and that's the standard. Anything below standard, get the fuck off my team.
Yep. No,
My life is in your hands. I got your six, you got mine. And if ever somebody lets go of the rope because, oh, it's a bad day, it got a little hard, you're gone. There's
yeah.
no do-overs. I
No, and
think
then,
it's a standards conversation.
don't get me wrong, it's exhausting thinking that way
Of course
and
it is.
living that way. But I remember one of my soldiers, man, he is an absolute like Greek god of a body, like just unnatural genetics. Like dude's just it's a freak, right? But he would go 2, 3 weeks just eating like tuna and water. And then he would go up in the mountains in Alaska with no shirt on and camp out, like just to push himself. And he goes, I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, you got to stop doing this. One, like you can't function right now because you have
Yeah.
no calories. And two, like you're going to get me in trouble because you're going to go up there and get frostbite. And now I'm not going to be able to, we're non deployable. Right. But he's like, well, I just, like what's the point of life if you can't see what you can do and like push your limits? I'm like, Jesus. All right, then. He would listen to like Nordic, like screamo music, like coming into PT. It was terrifying.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I learned a lot from that guy.
You just get wired at a different level. And
Yeah.
again, if somebody's stuck in their career, stuck in their marriage, stuck in any whatever relationship or path that you're on, it's natural to first look inward. And I think that's good. That's what leaders do is where's my DNA in this?
Yeah.
But secondary, don't minimize the other question, which is what's the environment? Who are the people I'm surrounding myself with? And if you're playing the quote unquote metaphorical game at a certain speed and other people around you are not at that same speed, that is frustrating. There is tension on the relationship. And so I'm not saying slow down or tone down your ambition, but how can you get in new rooms? How can you surround yourself with different people who share the equal, if not higher standard as you? And it's amazing to see how the harmony and the rhythm of life and how that works. And so that does involve saying no to some current relationships. They're not bad people.
Yep.
Okay. I'm not saying that. You can still be friendly and talk to them. But who am I spending the majority of my time and energy with? That directly shapes who we are along the way too.
And that's perfect too, because like honestly, like me and you could talk about baseball and life and all that shit and all that. But we're gonna tie that and that's exactly where I was going with it. It's like you could tie that into everything that you've done and what I'm doing now currently with the land and ranch thing and all that stuff. Because yes, I did like real estate. Yeah, I did like doing that. I see it being there, but it just wasn't quite what I wanted. Right.
Right.
I and as much again, you talked about it earlier. It's like ego type thing. Like for me, being a roofer, being a painter, I worked in a factory. I worked for Dish Network in the middle of winter, installing satellite dishes at home. Like for me, if it's not something that I can say it's like blue collar, like get my hands dirty, work hard, like yeah, it's not the most lucrative all the time. So I'm not gonna wear a shirt. I'm not gonna wear a shirt and tie. I told
Yeah.
that from day one. If I'm getting out of the army, this is what I wear to showings.
Yeah.
I was on stage in front of a couple hundred people in Miami wearing this in front of millionaires talking about things I was doing. Right. And
It fits
that's
the brand.
right. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It's like, so just doing homes and showings and stuff like that, like it just wasn't necessarily for me. Like I still do it. I still do the homes and all that stuff. But like what I enjoy is land. What I enjoy is getting dirty. What I enjoy is the gritty, like I don't know. It's almost something to be proud of. That's why I liked Alaska so much because
Mhm.
if you live there, you're a bad motherfucker. Like if you're
Yeah,
going to live there for that long and enjoy it and thrive, you got to be a different type of person.
yeah,
And so I think that's why I like the realm I'm in. And I think that's why you kind of went to the realm you're in now. It's because you got to be a different type of person to realize that you could lose everything by starting
yeah,
your own thing. And I think we talked about it before is like you burned through a lot of your nest egg to make this happen. And I don't know if that's something you want me to share on there or not, but we can edit that out later.
well, I don't care.
But it was the
Transparent.
fact that like, yeah, I want this. I'm not going to stop till I do it. And I just spent my life savings to get this going. And the way to tie this all in, right? So like what real estate is and what you're doing, it doesn't have to be this thing that you see everybody do and that you see on
Right,
social media now is the worst thing. It sucks. Like I hated it that I had to get back on it. But you don't have to be the typical real estate agent. And
yeah,
you don't have to be in real estate. You don't have to be in production. You can do all kinds of different things. And
right.
that's what you did.
Yeah, it turns out that, our teachers, parents, people when we were younger, when they said things like, "Oh, yeah, if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life." Turns
Yeah.
out they were kinda smart.
Kind
They
of
were
right.
kinda right because you're doing what you love. You're
Maybe we should listen to our parents.
I mean, I'm just saying, maybe.
I mean, I'm going to go tell my 3-year-old that when I pick
That's
him
a
up in about an hour.
this is being recorded, right? I can play this minus the my kids are used
Hmm.
to F-bombs anyways, doesn't matter. Um, no, so on a serious note though, like you listen to that internal voice, if it's land and being who you are and not dressing a part because we're not acting, we're not in the movies. This is real life
Not
stuff.
authentic.
Right. Be authentically you. That's what's leading you and you're trusting and obeying that call. Same for me. Like yeah, I didn't sit here thinking, "Hey, when I'm 42 years old, I'm gonna be running a real estate coaching company." Like, no, this was just a series and a sequence of things, and I trusted my own intuition and discernment along the way, and here we are. But I still absolutely love what I do because it's not even just the coaching, the practice of meeting with people and asking questions. It's because I get to still have that inner childlike youthful spirit to me because I'm dropping sports analogies, specifically baseball, all day, every day, baby.
Yep.
So I'm still in my
I love listening to you talk to other people that have no idea about baseball and I'll hear
yeah.
things and I'm like, that went way over their head.
Oh, I'm sure it did, and I don't care. You're maybe
Yep.
I'm not for you then. That's okay,
Yep.
right? But most people, whether they played or they have a child that play, like, come on, it's normal everyday stuff. You don't have to even love baseball to still
Hmm.
get the metaphor or the analogy. Okay, like real estate's a contact sport. It's time to get your jersey dirty. That's our motto at the locker room for a real estate company. Contact is not saying go be violent and tackle people. It's contact. Have a conversation. I
Yeah.
have to make daily conversations, contacts, and get my jersey dirty. So
Do you think
that's
that's
what it's yeah.
Do you think that sorry, I interrupt. This is my
Yeah.
ADHD and my wife just talked about it the other day. She's like, I think our kids got a little bit of you in them. And I'm like, a little
I do it
bit.
all the time too, dude. So
I was like, I will interrupt the president of the United States
yeah,
because I have a thought, you
I do it
know?
too. I do it too.
But no, it's like, I think that's one of the biggest contributing factors. And I've seen it just with some of the newer agents and I'm not new or not old by any means. I've only been licensed for a little over a year.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of these newer agents, they'll just sit back and just kind of wait for something to happen. They don't go out and they feel like they're intruding on people if they're talking about real estate or like, oh, people
Right.
get tired of hearing about it. It's like, yeah, but like you have to.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
They're
how is
throwing
anybody gonna
curveballs
know?
and changeups trying to be cute and paint the corners versus saying, "Jake Logan's got the ball. If you're gonna beat me today, you're gonna beat me with my best stuff. Here
Yep.
comes a fastball. I dare you to hit it."
Yep.
Like, that's the difference, and again, there's a metaphor.
Yeah. Always. And it's
We're
like
throwing fastballs down the middle saying, "You know what? If you hit a bomb off me, it better be the farthest home run I've ever had hit off me. Beat me."
my
But
first
it
home run was the next inning after I gave up my first home run in my first varsity start ever
right.
to JD Draminsky. If he's gonna listen to this, in Kiwani Weathersfield, he
I
hit an
remember
absolute
Kaminsky.
mammoth shot.
Yeah.
And then
Well, good.
I came up and hit my next home run because I was so fucking pissed because
Yeah.
It was my first varsity start. I was terrified. I'm 5'6", 120 pounds, like going up against the all-state linebacker.
Yeah. But
What?
good for him. He got you on
Yeah.
that pitch on that day. But if he's gonna
Floyd
beat
came
you
out to the mound and looked at me. Well, that sure went a long fucking ways, didn't it?
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's one of those things. It's like I think that's why a lot of real estate people, and there's a lot of other reasons, but a lot of real estate people, and the statistics, like 87,
Yeah.
88% of real estate agents fail in the first 2 years. And besides the financial, hit it takes in that immediate 2 years, people just they're not. You got to be outgoing, whether you are as a person or not. But you have to make people know that's what you do, and you have to shove it down their throat, like
Yeah.
because people are going to get annoyed with you. They are. Get over it. They don't hate you. They're going to probably unfollow you, but you're still friends. You
Yeah.
know, you just gotta have that. And people around here is I get hit up by somebody every day.
Mhm.
Hey, you do all the land and stuff. So and so told me about you. Would they know that if I don't tell everybody and their brother that that's
Right.
what I do? So I think that's a big thing, man. And then the second one, the second thing that you brought up, and this is something I'm kind of ashamed of myself. I got about like a quarter of the way through your book. Life happens.
It's okay.
I'm trying to do stuff like, anyways, it's on my 2026 list. I got it written down over there.
Both people
Um,
need it on audio because we don't have attention spans anymore to actually read.
Man,
So,
attention spans. And then if I do get a minute to sit, like you got a 3-year-old, like daddy, play with me. And
yeah.
it's fun. But, well, now it used to be I'd get up in the morning and do my shit in the morning. Well, now he's getting up earlier. It's great. I love it.
Yeah.
But no, so you came out with a book called Cannonball, right? And what I think the coolest part about this is not what you would expect from a real estate coach. Like, I don't know of another book at all about business. Again, I don't read a lot of books, but about business and how it stems down to something when you're 2 years old.
For real.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So well, let's dive into that a little, pun intended. Dive in on the Cannonball. Is what made you what made you start that? What made you lock yourself in a house for a couple weeks and get it done?
Yeah.
And what were you hoping that you could provide people out of something like that? Because it's really cool.
Well, thanks for the shameless plug. Um,
Oh yeah,
yes, it's Cannonball, the 12 success principles children can teach us about life and business. That's the name of my first official published book. And to make a very long story short, so I've got two young children at the time of recording this. One that's almost 12, another daughter that's 10. And ever since actually pre-birth, a couple things happened. Number one, I've been journaling to my daughters before they were born and all the way now through their life. So one day they
I
don't
should do
know it
that.
yet,
I
but I
like
will.
that. I should do it.
Yeah. Yes, you should start now.
Yeah.
Probably high school graduation or something is when I'll gift them this journal. Anyways, the second thing that also inspired me to do is write a book. And 100% Scout's honor, I don't, and I still don't care if I ever sell a book or not. That was not the reason. But kind of like Ruben, prior guest on the show, it was a legacy. And I don't mean to sound cheesy because it's not cheesy at all. It's a legacy play that if I were to die tomorrow, okay, that will outlive me for
Mhm.
generations. All right. It's done. It's published. It's nobody can ever take it away from me.
Yeah.
Whether I sell one or make a New York Times bestseller, I don't care about that. I wrote it really truly as almost like a love letter to my family and
Mhm.
passing on wisdom that they have poured into me by being their father. So that's what it was, man. And I delay or so I told myself. Delay, delay, delay. I didn't do it for 8 or 9 years. Here's something I do. January 1 of every year, I write myself a letter and I read the letter from the prior year. Okay. And I stick it under my bed, never to be touched or seen until the following January 1. Rinse, repeat. For 8, 9 consecutive years, I would write the new letter to myself. This is the year I'm going to write that book. Da, da, da. Nope. Only to open it the following year saying, yeah, you're full of shit.
Now your mattress is all lopsided because you got 12 letters in it.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. But here's the thing. actually, it works beautifully in God's timing, because had I written the book any sooner, I wouldn't have had the examples and lessons and stories that I used in the book, just to say I got it done. And so you ask, what did it take? Well, I was in a cohort of other coaches, and I went public with my goal. I said, guys, it's time. This is the year. I have to write this book. I've got enough. And because I went public and I embraced accountability, my peers said, okay, well, by when, and so on and so forth. So I said, all right, by the end of next week, I will have an Airbnb rented along the Wisconsin River, because I love the lake life and water, and it just inspires me. And I'm going to go into solitary confinement and write this book once and for all. Because I don't dabble,
I
just
would
like
have to do
you. I'm
that.
not a dabbler. If I go all in, or if I go in on something, I'm all in. And so some people write books by doing 10 pages a day. That's not me. I literally disappeared for a week from my wife and kids, from all responsibilities, and I woke up at 6:30 every morning, didn't finish usually until about 8, 9 o'clock at night. And I just wrote and I wrote and I wrote and I wrote. And 1 week it was done. And so there's a lot of editing and BS that happens in between,
Oh yeah,
but it was done. And now I'm sitting on almost 2 years later, having that thing just be a legacy move.
I love it.
And yeah,
No, it's super cool, and it's got a, like, a little workbook that goes with it
yep,
too.
yep,
Awesome, because for somebody like me, I'm gonna read it,
yep,
and honestly, I can go back, forget what the last chapter said, and whether that's like a,
yeah,
mental defect or not. But there's been a lot of blows to the head
yeah.
the last 10 years of my life that sometimes I forget what I had for breakfast. And that's not an exaggeration.
This
Um,
morning, one of my friends asked me, what did I do this weekend? I'm like, I actually don't even remember. So maybe we share the same thing
uh-huh.
in common.
Yep, for sure.
I don't
But
know.
no, that's super cool, man. I definitely hate that I haven't started it yet. Well, I started it. I got about a quarter of the way through. And then,
You're
like I
good.
said, life happens.
It's okay.
But it's definitely on the list, and something that I wanna start doing as well, as far as like the journaling goes. Not the book. Like I can't write a book. But the journaling and stuff like that.
Yeah,
It's something you can think of, because like,
yeah.
talk about
You
legacy.
you've got a
My
3-year-old
motto is,
son, right? You
what's
said
that?
3-year-old son?
Yep, yep. He's
Yeah.
3, almost 4 now.
So imagine what that collection of just moments and memories and experiences, if you start now, just
Yeah,
start now. It's not, "Oh, I lost out on 3 years." No, that's not how that works. Start
yeah.
now. And it's so much fun, man, and I put it on my schedule, otherwise I will forget. Too much time will surpass. But documenting those firsts, like I just wrote to my daughter the other day that she had a first, which was, so she's 11, okay, she's got a boyfriend, whatever, she's in middle school, but it was a
Uh,
first where dad took her and this boyfriend to the arcade to play games. Like, and I journaled about it just 'cause how
yeah,
fun will that be for her when she's her 18, 19-year-old self to go back and read that? Like,
yeah.
it's just, you gotta get out of the current state. That's legacy. That's something that she can share with her kids or grandkids someday
Mhm.
when I'm long gone. So, dude, yes, start.
I mean, yeah, my great grandma, she just, was it last year or the year before, she died at 104 years old. Can you
Oh my
imagine
gosh.
what she
What?
would have wrote about in
Oh.
104 years? In that time frame, that world changed so much.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I can't imagine.
Well, here's
Um,
something else, just because I'm riffing with you now, man.
yeah.
I have not done this yet, but I sent my parents. So here's what I did. I created categories of questions for my mom, and my mom and dad, for my mom and
Oh, yeah.
dad. And not to sound morbid or weird or anything, but just, they're getting older and there's going to be a day. And so what I intend on doing soon is, whether I drive down there or next time they're up here, is putting this camera with this microphone in front of them and sitting down and me asking them questions and them responding to those questions audibly and on camera. So then I can take that and package it up, and it's there forever. Forever. I will have their responses to, how did you guys meet? What was your first date?
Yeah.
All the way to, what wisdom would you want to share with your grandkids? Like, it's like a tearjerker kind of thing, man.
But I mean, people, I don't understand why people myself included, don't do that more often. Like, you remember back in the day, everybody had the big ass camcorder to
Yep.
record everything. Now we got our phones and it just gets lost in Google Photos, you know?
Right.
But like, you see people putting this much time and effort into selling a piece of property.
Right.
Like, why don't you put that much time and effort into something with your family? That is the most important thing. It should be.
Yes. I've
That's
got
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that a lot.
so hold me accountable, everybody that can hear this, to getting that done. But here's a book, I'm trying to pull it up real quick because Jake, this will really speak to you perhaps. It's called, sorry,
Oh, you're good.
it's called, oh Lord, I have too many audiobooks. Oh, here it is. It's called The Family Board Meeting. You have 18 summers to create lasting, and it gets cut off, lasting memories or something like that. But it's called The Family Board Meeting. And I won't give away the whole book. It's a really short, quick, easy listen or read. But you can imagine from the title, it's talking to guys like you and I, the parents who of children, saying, "Look, you've Jake, you've got 15 summers left. That's it. You have a 3-year-old, soon to be 4. They're flying the coop when they're 18. Let's pretend.
Yeah.
You you've got 15 spring breaks left. You've got 15 summers left. And you're going to tell me I can't go plan that vacation or go create that memory or experience with them?
Yeah.
Yeah, freaking right. No, you will. And you better. Because
No, yeah,
14,
that
13, 12.
that's
I've got a
depressing.
12-year-old and a 10-year-old, man, soon to be 12. What
You're
do
over
I have?
halfway.
6 summers left?
Yeah. Man,
I mean, hello?
dude.
That'll
Yeah,
smack you
that's
across the face on a Monday morning, won't it?
well, that's I feel that way sometimes when I get mad at him too. I'm like, I shouldn't do
Yeah.
that because I
No.
know we're the only things in your life, and now we're mad at you. Like, the one person that means the most, and now I'm mad at you.
Yeah.
Like, I get it,
Mm.
you got to discipline your kid and all that stuff, but then you feel
Right.
bad about it.
Right.
But no, it's I'll have to check it out. I'll definitely read that one, and then and see, I'll let you know how that goes. But
Yeah. It's good.
so I know we're gonna be running a little bit low on time right here, so I do have a couple other questions. They can be quick ones.
Sure.
But one last thing, so people are listening, they can kind of check it out. What is the locker room about, and what
Yeah.
is your ultimate goal on that one, real quick, as far as who you're after, not after, who you're trying to provide value
Yeah.
for that, and then this new stuff that you're coming out with now.
Yeah, I'll keep this short. So, I mean, Locker Room is, as you stated, a real estate coaching and training company. I mean, that's on its face what we are. Who we serve is largely the broker owners of real estate companies. We coach and consult with them one to one directly more often. Not to suggest we wouldn't coach and consult individual agents, we do, but our bread and butter is really after the leadership of or
Hmm.
owners of real estate companies. And then all the training and tools and resources we provide trickle down to benefit the agents as a part of that relationship. So that's what we do. And then, yeah, I'm getting ready to launch the Coaches Brokerage, which is for aspiring or current real estate coaches who crave community. They crave, they're tired of feeling isolated because it can be lonely in the leadership realm of things.
Yeah,
And then we're going to white label resources and different trainings that they can go monetize. And it's a whole more community based than anything, I would say, for coaching coaches, for lack of a better term, the people that want to make a ripple effect and impact the lives of others. I feel at this stage of my game, I've got a lot of wisdom to share on that front of how we've done what we've done. Not to say we're perfect, and oftentimes learning from more of the mistakes I've made that might be able to reduce the learning curve or compress
yeah.
time for the next generation of coaches.
No, I like that because these coaches are providing, a lot of stuff to a lot of people, but
Yeah,
who's providing them? And
right.
it's
Exactly.
it's just like when I was in the army. Like, we give everything we have to our dudes that bust their backs for us,
Yep.
and
Juice
as
pouring into you.
unfortunate, yeah, and as unfortunate as it is, like, you see, um, everybody's worried about, like, hey, let's get these privates out of the barracks, let's get them home for the holidays, whatever, because, like, suicide's a real thing, depression's a real
Yep.
thing. But the ones that are and not saying any, like, trying to make anybody feel bad or anything, but, like, the ones that are really hurting are the ones that are really burnt out. And part of the reason why I got out is like the people like me, and your staff sergeants, our first class, that working 18 hours a day. nobody wants to listen to why they can't get something done. It's you fucking do it, dude. Like
Yeah,
this is your job.
that's right.
So it's like having somebody that you got your coach or your leader here. Like where do they go? And so that's pretty cool. I like that because they could just it's like, dude, they could just burn out and quit of coaching is because they don't have the support, and now they do.
Yeah, that's right.
So
And so many
I like
people
it.
too that have transitioned careers from sports or military, and now they're getting into an entirely new civilian type line of work.
Yeah,
It's an identity crisis a lot of times
yeah.
because that's what you were. That's what you were labeled at. No, you are an athlete. No, you are serving the country, and that's just what you do. And
And where
then
else
when
do you
that
go?
stops, it's like, now what do I do? And I'd
Yep.
like to be that in that transitional phase for a lot of people who are making those big decisions.
No, that's great. I like that. I'm gonna follow that pretty close. I actually got on a call with the coaching one that one of the calls that you guys had
Yeah.
and just kind of listen into it. And it's something I'm gonna do. I don't
Yeah.
think I'm quite there yet. And it's mainly because
No rush.
like me and my wife were talking. It's like, yes, we've spent a lot of money this year and it's in order to build the real estate
Yes.
business. And I am not making money this year. Like that is full. I'll be upfront about that. That's why people fail a lot of the times too. It's
Yep.
because it does take money to make money in this game. It really does.
Yep.
You can
It
do the
can.
bare minimum if you're lucky in an expensive area. Like you can make some money, but like what I'm doing, $3,000 commission is very average, very common for me. Well, by the end of it, I'm making about 1,200 bucks
Right.
for 2 months of work or 9 months of work, whatever it is. So it's like once we can start getting to that point, and it's like how it took me 2, 3 years to get there. I'm going to coach people don't that won't take you 2 to 3 years. Maybe it'll
Right.
take you a year and you can get in it.
Exactly.
So something
Exactly.
I'm looking into is the next step for sure.
Yep.
All right. So these are going to be the hot takes, the hot seat right here for you, Mr. Dixon. All right.
Okay.
So these are going to be the ones we're gonna leave you with. It's gonna be a lasting impression. All right. So I got
Okay.
3 questions for you. And
All
it's
right.
gonna be rapid fire. You don't have to answer super fast like Ruben did because Ruben's like, hey, da, 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 da. Okay. But that's Ruben. He talks that way
Yes,
anyway.
he is. Yeah.
So all right, number one, if you had to tell your kids one thing for their happiness in their life, like one thing that would help them find happiness in their life, what would it be? It doesn't have to be now. It could be when they're 25, 30, 40 years old.
Oh boy. Okay. It's gonna be well, we kind of referred to it earlier, but I won't be so cliche about it. I would tell them find something that you're unapologetically, obsessively passionate about. Do that, and then you'll figure out how to make money doing that.
Yeah. No, I
But
agree.
it's got to grip you. You've got to have the conviction. You've got to not just love, but fall in love with it. And whatever it is, it's authentic to you. It plays to your strengths and your convictions. So yeah, I think that's what just off the cuff, what I would say is be unapologetically, obsessively passionate about whatever it is. We'll fill in the blank. We'll solve for X, but don't you dare compromise that because you'll make more money and be more happy doing that than faking it till you make it.
I love it. No, that's a good one. All right. Number two, who is or who has been the most influential person in your life and why?
Well, the obvious answer would be my mom and dad. So if I'm allowed to give that one, that's
You
the obvious.
absolutely are.
Okay. The second choice would be Coach Rhodes from UNF. Shout out to Coach
Mhm.
Rhodes. But mom and I mean, no, not even close. With all due respect to my mom and dad, they're just so different, and yet together they're just amazing. Mom is like the happiest, most loving, giving, nurturing, caring human being on the planet. If you've ever met my mom, like it's
I didn't
all
realize for like 5 years that she was my substitute teacher all the time.
right. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. She'll just do anything and give you anything, and always has a smile, and you'll just never has a bad day, or you at least wouldn't know it.
yeah.
And then my dad has got this just kind of quirky, dry. He's hilarious to me. Like he's just got this dry sense of humor. Um, he knows everybody. He's the ultimate name dropper, small talker, master networker kind of guy.
Yep.
And
I
so
always remember talking to him after games. I didn't
yeah,
know that was your dad for the longest time.
right. It just good, down to earth, salt of the earth people, man, and I that's just I'd like to think I'm elements of both of them, but can never live up to the bar that they've set.
Yeah,
And just on a personal note too, they've been married for I'll get it wrong, almost 50 years or whatever the number, mid 40 plus years they've been married, which is also not normal. And with
yeah,
again, no disrespect to anybody because I know
it's
life and
impressive.
things and whatever happens, but that's really set a bar for me and my two sisters too of
Yeah,
what a family is supposed to look like and how you
yep.
have each other's backs.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't an easy 40 years. I can guarantee they'll tell you the
Oh
same
God,
thing,
no,
you know?
no. But you work through
So,
it and you figure it
you work
out
through it. You
because you
work
said
through
you
it.
would. Right,
That's what me and my wife, we always say, like, divorce isn't an option, sorry. Like, even if we hate each other, we're stuck.
right.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
All right, last one, and then, we're gonna have some people we're gonna tell people where they can find you at.
Okay.
All right, so number 3, what's next for Mr. Jacob Dixon? Because he can't be Jake Dixon on Facebook anymore. He
Yeah.
had to change his name.
So
What's
weird.
next for Mr. Jake Dixon and or the locker room other than the brokerage, if you can share it, or
Yeah.
other than the coaching thing?
Yeah, man. Here's the thing. Like, I shared an article recently, and I will answer your question, but I shared an article recently that Steve Bezos, Amazon founder, responded to, and he said it
Jeff
connected with me
Bezos.
because he said the
Jeff
interviewee
Jeff Bezos?
or
Steve
Jeff,
Bezos.
what did I say?
I don't know who it is. Is it Jeff or Steve?
Jeff Bezos. Did I
Mr.
say Steve?
Bezos.
Oh, I don't know. Bezos,
Oh,
Amazon
it's
founder.
all
Okay.
right. Sheldon said John Revere the other day, and I'm gonna call her out on it right now.
Sorry, I don't know what just came. Anyways, but the interviewee basically asked him, "Hey, where do you see Amazon being in the next 10 years?" And he said in this article, "I've always hated that question, and I have too, but I always felt like a
That's why
loser
I
or a
always ask
terrible
it. I know everybody asks it, and I
yeah,
always ask it.
5 years and like, bro, I don't know." And I always felt inferior until I read this article. And he said instead of asking, "Where will I be in 10 years?" he said, "I see it differently. What won't change over the next 10 years?" And
Yeah.
so,
All right.
I believe the real estate agent will always be in the center of the transaction, yes, even with artificial intelligence. I still believe entrepreneurs will struggle and have isolating feelings to the point where they will need a coach, consultant in their life. So it's what won't change over the next 10 years versus thinking what will change. I don't
I love
know,
it.
neither do you.
Yep.
That said, I still am obsessively passionate and unapologetically passionate about what I do. So I don't know. I'm just here for the ride. I'm here for the journey, but I hope it includes doing what I'm still doing.
I love it.
Now, people will come and go. That's normal. I understand we serve seasons, right? But I feel like I'm still on purpose. I'm on mission. And for as long as I feel that way, I'm going to continue to do the work that I'm doing without getting overly creative or saying, oh, what's next? And
Yep.
no, sometimes it's just keep doing what you're doing. Last thing I'll say I was sharing this morning. I'm 42. Okay. I believe your 20s, 30s, you're just kind of figuring life out. You're chasing success. What do I want? What do I want to be when I
You're
grow up?
upset if you don't have it figured out already. That's
Right.
me.
Then I think your 30s to 40 decade is kind of the career person. Now you've got all that behind you. You've figured it out. And now you're just trying to elevate and again, still pursue how much money can I make?
Mhm.
I think 40 to 50 decade is like the legacy decade of your kids are going to get out of the house and whatever. This is my decade to build wealth, to create lasting memories, to have the flick of impact that I want on this real estate industry. If it's going to happen, it's got to happen right now. So every day I operate with that sense of urgency because I don't want to be chasing stuff when I'm 50.
Yeah.
Certainly not when I'm this decade. I'm all in on this, and I don't know where that's going to lead me or what that means is next. But I promise I'll always figure it out. I'm
Yeah.
always listening for the feedback. I'm always willing to pivot and fail my happy ass forward. So that's what's next. I'm just going to keep getting a bloody lip and figuring shit out while
Love
everybody
it.
else is hoping for the easy pill.
No, that's great. That seriously, like, that's cool. I'm super excited to see where that goes. Like, at the end of the day, like, nobody knows what's gonna happen tomorrow. You know what I
You
mean?
and I didn't
Like,
see COVID coming. I mean,
no,
like, I don't
it,
know.
the last thing I would have expected was me and you to be hanging out at a real estate conference.
Right.
Like that even when I was licensed, I wasn't expecting you to be in Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Correct. It's just
You just
enjoy
never
the
know
ride,
what.
man, and be present. Be
Yeah,
present where you are.
that's a big thing, and that's pretty much. I think every episode will have that. Is like, hey, you're doing this for a reason. Like, and it's probably because you want more time
Yeah,
with your family and the people that matter.
that's right.
So we can, yeah, definitely. And I feel like we're going to be talking about a lot more stuff on a future episode too.
I ain't going
But
anywhere.
for anybody that is interested in reaching out to you about anything at all, right?
Yeah.
Anything at all, where can we find you?
Email me, number one, lockerroomcoaching@gmail.com. Lockerroomcoaching at gmail. That is really my email. It is really me who responds. I'm not that not that big time. Um, but if you just want to check us out, tlrnation.com. tlrnation.com is our company website.
Awesome. No, we'll drop those. We'll put those in the description or the links. I don't know. I don't know what the proper YouTube podcast lingo is stuff,
You'll
but
figure it out. That's what I do know,
we'll
though.
put it somewhere in there, right? But no, man, I appreciate you coming on here. I know you're a busy man, and it took
Thanks.
us a little bit to get this scheduled, but Jake is the reason, not the reason, but he was the first person I called when I didn't know what the hell to do with my life about 2 years ago.
I remember
Uh,
that call.
yeah, I was sitting in the parking lot in the truck,
I
like, what am I doing?
I remember, and then I said, "I got somebody for you. Let me introduce you to Ruben Garcia. You
I
guys
didn't
met."
believe for a minute you knew somebody in Fayetteville like that
"Oh,
personally. I was like, I thought you just knew of somebody.
nah, I got you.
So it
I
was
got you."
cool. But again, like it was probably 12 years since we like, actually last talked, and we
Yep.
picked up the phone, and you're still helping me out. So I couldn't thank you enough, man. Like, honestly, I love what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's like, again, I'm not the richest person in the world, but I love what I'm doing, and I'm about to go get my kid for the afternoon. Like,
That actually makes you the richest man in the world right
it's
there.
true. I agree. So
I'm proud of you, man, and congrats on all your success and blazing the trails, the podcast, pouring into others so they can consume this material right here. Keep doing it. Don't stop.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it a lot, and I learned a lot from y'all. So, anyways, that
So,
wraps it up. I appreciate anybody, the 10 people, hopefully ever that'll watch, my podcast. But I appreciate everybody watching. And until next time, I'm gonna buy dirt, plant roots, and leave your legacy. All right. And I feel like this was a great episode for that one. So,
amen.
all right, Jake, I
You
appreciate
got
you.
it. Thanks, man.